In this video, you'll discover the top strategies in order to drastically improve the quality of your sleep and fall asleep fast. People who don't get quality of sleep, it's estimated that they get diabetes to a higher extent. If you go to bed at a certain time and wake up at a certain time every day, you're going to get much better sleep. We're more primal than we think we are. When we looked at our ancestors who were sleeping outside, basically the temperature would drop at night. This is an indication to the body that it is time to go to sleep. This is like just hardwired into our DNA. Really works though is taking a 20-minute power nap. Really helps reboot the system, kind of reset brain function, helps improve memory, concentration, improves mood, the whole deal. It's no secret that tens of millions of people find themselves struggling with sleep on a nightly basis. Many people find themselves unable to fall asleep, and then they're waking up in the middle of the night and they can't go back to sleep after that, or they're tossing and turning all night. So what we want to do is come up with proper strategies in order to stop all that. Many people think that this is just the way it is. They lose hope and they think that there's no strategies out there in order to improve their quality of sleep. I'm here to tell you there's lots of natural strategies, and we're going to talk about some of the top ones in this video. We're going to talk about how to beat insomnia and how to fall asleep fast, and of course stay asleep so that you get that good restful sleep. So stick around to the end of this video because all of this is very important when it comes to the quality of your sleep. But before we get started, I'm Dr. Zyrowski and welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and join our notification community. That way it can help you excel your health and your life. Let's go ahead and dive right into the topic of sleep. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm a big fan of discussing the topic of sleep, and here is why. Because I am someone who struggles with quality sleep myself. My whole family struggles with quality sleep. My bedroom is literally like a sleep lab in order to help myself improve sleep all the time. Like I said, when I started having issues with it, I wasn't going to just give up. I've been fighting it ever since. And let me tell you, I've been able to do a lot of good things in order to improve the quality of my sleep. And I want to share some of them here with you today. Let's first talk about the sleep epidemic. This is something that maybe you struggle with, but it's not just you. A lot of times when we struggle with particular things, we think we're the only ones. But there are millions of people out there who have these same issues. It's estimated that 50 to 70 million people in the United States struggle with sleep. It's estimated that 1/3 of people worldwide find that they cannot get quality sleep at night. How many people do you know, they lay in bed, right? You might lay in bed for 8 hours, but yet, did you actually get quality sleep? Did you wake up revived? Were you tired all day long only to go to sleep and not be able to go to sleep? This is a problem many people face. There's 80 different sleep disorders out there that people suffer from. Now, the other thing is that when we get a lack of sleep, right, this is something that is incredibly damaging to our body. At night, when we sleep, this is when our body repairs, when it heals, when, our brain starts to kind of regenerate, our gut starts to heal, our body starts to detox. This is very, very healing for our overall body. When we don't get proper sleep at night, a lot of bad things can start to happen. Things like depression, immune disorders, metabolism disruption. I mean, when we look at even type 2 diabetes, people who don't get quality of sleep, it's estimated that they get diabetes to a higher extent than those who get better quality sleep. Heart disease and stroke, a lack of sleep is related to. Brain dysfunction. Basically, when you're asleep, this is when your brain kind of recharges, synapses are made. It's very important for overall mental health. Chronic fatigue starts to set in if you don't get enough sleep, okay? These people, like I said before, they're tired all day long, only to go to sleep at night and not be able to sleep, unfortunately. And then, you know what, when we look at sleep, health only comes naturally, okay? Many people want to improve their sleep by finding some over-the-counter medication, stuff like that. We have to find natural ways to improve our sleep so that we can naturally increase our health, right? We don't want to have to rely on some over-the-counter medicine in order to actually get sleep at night. Let's start going through some of these strategies in order to help you improve your sleep. First is magnesium, okay? Magnesium is something that is very powerful for just overall relaxing the body, whether it's the musculoskeletal system or the nervous system. It's very powerful. So in this particular case, what we're talking about is magnesium in order to help calm the brain down. Okay, it's going to do a couple things for us. It's going to attenuate neurological changes brought on by stress. One of the things that happens with people who are stressed, you get these neurological changes that can disrupt your sleep patterns. And so this magnesium can very much help with that. It also is going to help reverse sleep changes associated by aging. Many people find as they age, they don't sleep as well. I mean, there's not too many kids out there that have sleep disorders, right? But there's many adults that have sleep disorders. As you age, this starts to happen. This magnesium can actually support helping reverse that. And then, of course, it's going to support a healthy mood. And what it means when it supports a healthy mood is that it's going to help decrease worry. Now, one of the things and reasons that people can't sleep well at night is because they have a lot of worry. So this magnesium is going to really help improve your mood, decrease worry. Now there's a very particular type of magnesium that is utilized that can cross the blood-brain barrier and actually have a profound impact on your brain and nervous system in order to get all these changes to occur. I'll put a link below to the one that we use clinically in the description. But like I said, when we have magnesium, it's not just any magnesium. We want a magnesium that can cross the blood-brain barrier in order to get us the results that we're looking for. So magnesium is really powerful here, but we want to make sure we're getting a good brain magnesium. Next on our list here is going to be maintain a bedtime window. What the research basically shows is that if you go to bed at a certain time and wake up at a certain time every day, you're going to get much better sleep. Now, if you're someone who's staying up real late one night and then you're going to bed early the next night, there's not too many people that can be that flexible in their sleep patterns. And maybe you even think you can, but if you actually measure your sleep and figure out if you're getting some good REM sleep, some deep sleep, then you'd probably find out that you aren't getting as good of sleep if you actually follow a good sleeping pattern. So what is recommended is that, first of all, you get to bed at a good healthy time, right? So you don't want to be going to bed way late into the night. You want to get to bed at a good healthy time, usually between like 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Those are good windows in order to get to sleep. And so get to bed at a healthy time, but try to be consistent within that time frame. It's estimated that you want to be like within an hour on a daily basis. If you fall out of that from here to there, that's fine. But what we really want to do is try to consistently stay within that exact time frame that we go to sleep and wake up on a regular. Like I said, an hour variation is not a big deal. Couple hours is a problem. So try to maintain a good bedtime window. Next here is caffeine. This is something we got to be careful with because we live in a caffeinated world like never before. Energy drinks, coffee, you name it. Many people are just pouring on the caffeine in order to try to stay awake, in order to try to have mental alertness. I mean, we can talk about all the issues why people aren't mentally alert right now, whether it's brain inflammation, metabolic issues, you name it. But unfortunately, people are turning to caffeine. There's a couple things to consider here. First of all, caffeine will keep you up at night, of course. But the other thing to consider is that some people are very slow metabolizers of caffeine. So even though maybe your friend has a coffee at 5 o'clock at night and can go to sleep at 8 o'clock, you could have one at 3 in the afternoon and not be able to go to sleep at 10 o'clock. So we have to be careful with this because people who have these different genetic variations in how they metabolize caffeine will really have disruptive sleep patterns if they're using a lot of the caffeine. So the good rule of thumb is that you don't have caffeine after 12 o'clock if you're someone who has a sleep problem, right? If you have pretty good sleep, you could probably push that back to like 2, 3 o'clock, but ideally you want to cut that caffeine off early so that it is not running into the night and disrupting your sleep. Some people find that they have to cut caffeine out altogether in order to actually get quality sleep. So be aware of this. If you're someone who's not sleeping well at night, look to the caffeine as a potential problem for you. Next here is eating and drinking enough. This is a problem a lot of people have. First of all, let's start with eating. So when it comes to eating, a lot of people don't have very good portion sizes when it comes to their macronutrients. Some people are having way too many carbs, too little protein, too little, fruits and veggies, that kind of thing. And what it does is it causes some problems for them. What a lot of people will find is that if they're waking up in the middle of the night, they can go have a protein shake before they go to bed, and all of a sudden they don't wake up anymore. Simply means that you're just not getting enough protein. Your body's waking up telling you it's hungry. And so if you are someone who wakes up a lot in the middle of the night, first of all, you could try just having a protein shake and seeing if that fixes the issue. But the real point there is that make sure that you're getting enough protein throughout the day so that you're not waking up in the middle of the night. Next here is drinking enough water. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're drinking enough water because as we go through the night, this is a full-on 8-hour fast. Let's say if you're sleeping for 8 hours, this is an 8-hour fast from water too, typically. So if we're not drinking enough water throughout the day, then we're waking up all night thirsty. And then of course, we're typically waking up all night going to the bathroom. And so we want to make sure we're getting plenty of water throughout the day so that it's not something that when we come to go to sleep at night, all that lack of drinking proper water intake throughout the day doesn't come to a head and then keep you up all night. And so make sure you're eating enough and drinking enough. And when I say eating enough, that really refers to getting enough protein throughout the day. Let's go ahead and talk about decreasing room temperature. So decreasing room temperature is something that's pretty interesting. So basically in the research, what they found is that, we're more primal than we think we are, right? When we looked at our ancestors who were sleeping outside or sleeping in caves or sleeping in forests, whatever, basically the temperature would drop at night. This is an indication to the body that it is time to go to sleep. This is like just hardwired into our DNA. And so decreasing your room temperature at night can actually prepare your body for sleep. It kind of signals your body that it's time to go to sleep. One of the things that it does is it pushes the release of melatonin. Melatonin is a sleep hormone. This hormone helps you stay asleep at night. And also melatonin has many benefits. So if we're looking to, its anti-cancer benefit, anti-diabetes benefit, better mood, helping cut out depression. Melatonin has many profound effects on the body. So what we have to do is make sure that we're getting enough of it. And we can do this by decreasing our room temperature. So decrease your room temperature right around like 68 degrees is typically ideal. We all have experienced that when our room was too warm, we wake up in the middle of the night sweating or we can't fall asleep. Decrease that room temperature. It helps prepare your body for sleep. It helps release melatonin. And then from there, you're going to get a better quality sleep. So give this a try if you have never done it. Next, let's go ahead and talk about white noise. What is white noise, first of all? Now, many people think of white noise as just any noise that is like consistently, maybe like rain or birds chirping or waves, but that's not what white noise is. White noise is actually when you have a consistent sound that doesn't change, and there's a lot of research behind it, okay? So it's not about birds chirping, it's just a loud noise that is very consistent without any change. First of all, it's gonna block all the noises from, dog barking to door closing to those kinds of noises that are going to wake you up. But the other thing that it does is it helps you sleep so much better. There's lots of studies out there. There's even, there's one study where they took all these people in a hospital and they played a white noise through the speaker system, and they found that people got much better sleep. There's another study that they did in Neurology Journal, and what they found is that people who were utilizing white noise had a 38% decrease in sleep latency. Essentially what that means is that they were falling asleep faster, they weren't tossing and turning, and overall getting a better night's sleep. So we want to make sure that we utilize white noise if we want to improve our sleep at night. We utilize this in our home with our kids, and they love it. It really helps them sleep well at night and helps them stay asleep. Next here is power naps. So, power naps is something that's often thought of as, you don't do it unless you're kind of lazy or, you just can't get it together. But power naps actually have a lot of benefits. There's a lot of research out there. When a lot of people come into the afternoon and they're kind of crashing and they're a little bit tired, first thing that they do is they go and just start pouring on caffeine. But what research shows is that that's not beneficial at all, because if you start pouring on that caffeine, what starts to happen is that you get that nice, quick boost that lasts maybe a half hour to an hour, but then it actually decreases memory and causes poor concentration and everything else after that. So what really works though is taking a 20-minute power nap. Research shows between 20 and 30 minutes, it really helps reboot the system, kind of reset brain function, helps improve memory, concentration, improves mood, the whole deal. So putting a power nap in 20 to 30 minutes in the middle of the day, if you can do that, is a great thing to do. Of course, I've never been able to do that, but if you are someone that is able to, research shows that it has a lot of benefits. Next here on our list is going to be to track your sleep. Now, I'm a big fan of this. We've all heard this little saying, you can't manage what you can't measure. Well, when it comes to the sleep, this is certainly the case. I've been tracking my sleep in so many different ways for many years. Like I said, my room is like a sleep lab. I've worked with all these different devices in order to try to find the one that's best for sleep. Now, one of the things I really like for sleep is one called the BioStrap. The reason that I use this, and I'll put a link in the description below so that you can look into it further. But the reason I use this is because it tells me everything I need to know about my sleep. It tells me my oxygenation level. Am I breathing well at night? Maybe that's why I'm not sleeping. There's a lot of people with sleep apnea out there. So it tells me my blood oxygen saturation. It tells me like when I fell asleep, how many times I woke up, how long I was in a deep sleep. It gives me basically all the different metrics. And then of course, it makes suggestions on how I can get better quality sleep at night. So make sure that you're tracking your sleep with a really good quality device, right? There's some devices that are not as good as others out there. So I want to make sure that we're tracking our sleep with a really good quality device that tells us everything we need to know. I'm a big fan of this. Like I said, I track my health in so many ways, and I also track my sleep. And if you're doing this, you're able to make micro adjustments daily in order to see what moves the needle and what doesn't. Because let's face it, if you're not tracking your sleep and you're making changes, a lot of times, you can be basing it off of different subjective measurements like, oh, did I feel better? Or how was my mood? That kind of thing. But if you're tracking it using a good quality sleep device, you can actually go and see, hey, I actually stayed longer in REM sleep. I actually was able to sleep a longer duration without tossing and turning and waking up at night. You're able to see all that when it comes to tracking your sleep properly. Now, we want to make sure that we're doing all these things in order to increase our quality of sleep every single night. Give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions or you have any concerns, anything like that, put it right in the comment section here below, and then watch this video over here. I did a video that is all about healthy eating, because one of the things about going and making sure that you're getting quality sleep is you need to be eating good quality foods throughout the day so it's not messing up your metabolism. So check this video out right here. Very powerful video on the ketogenic diet, the hottest diet out there today, that teaches you how to improve your quality of eating. But if we want to truly know, and we want to make sure that we're staying in ketosis, especially in the beginning, like I said, you're kind of new to all this, you're trying to figure out your macros, you're using the app, you're calculating things correctly,